I got out, giving all glory to God. Hold up, this ain't me. Tell me how we went from trapping to rapping on BET. Last week I told investing to the Kansas City Chiefs. Golden rule to invest and make that money while you sleep. They say trap a perfect mixture of Warren Buffett and Meach. No more shoebox money, them portfolios elite. Golden rule to invest and make that money while you sleep. I'm gone.
What's good, family? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Welcome to another amazing episode of Trappin Tuesday, man. Whoa. Oh, damn, my bad. We messed up. All right, we'll get to it. We'll get to it, man. Listen, I want to say something, man. Like, I'm excited to have y'all each and every week coming to the show, tapping in live, right? Like, this is my favorite day of the week. Like, it is such an amazing day for me, man, because I get to rock out with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And everything we do all week, all the preparation that we do all week is to give y'all the best quality show. But we're going to dig a little deeper because what we do is our goal is to help y'all build wealth one share at a time, turn your last name into an asset, and get comfortable with navigating this market. That's our goal here. And then we just normalize freedom after that, man. So what I want y'all to do, man, before we get into this show, man, I want y'all to just know how important you all are to us. So for that, man, me and Jose, we're going to just give y'all a big salute. We're going to give y'all a salute tonight just to tell y'all that. Jose, how you feel, bro?
Feeling good, bro.
Long weekend?
Yeah.
I saw you climbing a tree.
We starting early.
All right, my bad. Okay, let's get back to the show. All right, so I want to start off tonight. I want to say this, man. Bloody September. Oh, how we wait for you. Some fear you, but we adore you because we know the potential of what you could do. So when I think about that, y'all, I want you to understand, man, this is a day, Bloody September. This is the day, this is the month where we sit back. A lot of people look at this day and they see their screens get red like you saw this morning. First day of the week. Not only is it the first trading day of September, right? It's the first trading day of a short week. And what do we wake up to? Blood. Screens red. What did we wake up to? People on the TV saying, this is September. But here's what we understand, y'all. It's not time to panic. It's time to position. See, there's a saying in the Bible, something similar to those who sow sparingly reap sparingly. Those who sow sparingly reap sparingly. Trap, what the hell that got to do with right now? Because I'm telling you, in September, you supposed to be sowing. Yeah, you might don't get it right in January. Yeah, you might don't get it right in February. You might miss around March and April. June, July, dang, it's the holidays. August gives us flashes. But September, oh, how we wait on you. September, oh, how we cherish your presence. September, oh, how we can't wait to dance that you do so well. You wear red, I wear black, we meant for each other. Because together, we print green. You wear red, I wear black. Together, we print green. Those who sow sparingly reap sparingly. So I'm telling you, in this September, you plant them seeds. You don't let them shake you out. You say, hey, this is what I've been waiting for. This month right here is the month that I plant the seeds that will turn my last name into an asset. I don't care what you did the rest of the year. All I'm telling you is in September, you put your dancing shoes on. In September, you get ready to cha-cha slide. You get ready to line dance. You get your fan. Because September, we gonna do what we do. So you're gonna let them get on the TV and talk what they talk. You're going to let all the stats come out that say, yeah, September is the worst month in the market. You're going to let all the stats come out. You're going to let all the historians tell you from 1928 to now, September has had a negative 0.9%. You're going to let them say all that, and you're going to say, welcome to the Terror Dome. Because you know, this is where the rich get wealthy at. And they got so many amazing sayings. They say, oh, well, institutional investors are rebalancing their portfolios and fund managers are exiting option plays in September the 19th. And retail investors are coming back for summer. Nah, fam, we ain't never left. They say retail investors are coming back from vacations. Nah, fam, we ain't never left. Vacation? We live this. We breathe this. We die this. We know this gonna change our life. Vacation? I got my dancing shoes on. I got my shovel because I'm ready to dig a ditch for poverty. I got my shovel because I'm ready to dig a ditch for check to check. I got my shovel. I'm ready to dig a ditch for debt. I got to get my shovel. I'm ready to dig a ditch for high interest. Why? Because when I come out of September, them option plays going to be hitting. When I come out of September, them buying whole plays going to be hitting. When I come out of September, we're going to see a whole lot of green. What you mean, bloody September? The blood is just the fertilizer for the soil. What you mean, bloody September? Fear what? Fear who? Fear God, that's it. We ain't scared of putting no money in the ground. We ain't scared of putting no money in the soil. We ain't scared of putting no money in the market. It's bloody September. Welcome. Welcome. We've been waiting. April might have caught us off guard. February and March caught us off guard. You got me on that. Good lick. But September? We was waiting on you. As a matter of fact, we've been waiting on you since last September. Because we like the way you put us in. We like the way you change the market. We like the way you place fear in the people's heart who's not well acquainted with you. But we intimate. We've been doing this for some time. This is a long-distance relationship, and I only get to see you 31 days every once a year. We're going to spend some time together. We're going to get intimate together. I'm going to show you my portfolio. You're going to show me, you're going to expose some dips to me. I'm going to show you my portfolio. You're going to show me some discounts. I'm going to show you my portfolio. You're going to show me some beautiful stocks that's on sale. I'm going to show you my portfolio. I'm going to show you how much money I got, and you're going to expose me to some assets that I didn't think I was going to be able to get on sale. And you're going to gift wrap them to me. So September, we welcome you. September, we actually miss you, baby. Yeah, September, we actually miss you, baby. So welcome back. We got a spot just for you. We kept it nice and warm since last year. Let's get intimate. And before you leave, let's make sure we fertilize the soil the right way. So I want all y'all to say something in the chat right quick. And all my people on the audio listening.
Did you plug in your board? Okay, we back.
Quick.
We back.
Welcome home, September. We miss you.
Ooh,
we miss you.
That boy was ready to get started. I
Come
see
on,
what
man.
he was
Come
doing.
on. Hey, throw me that drink. Pop, pop. Throw me that. Come on. We missed you, September.
I see what he was doing.
What
And
my
yes,
people?
And yes, I did climb a tree. But reason why I say that, because I just went up on the roof with y'all real quick. Well, sort of.
The roof is another day. You went on a tree yesterday, bro.
I know. I'm just talking about, I'm not afraid of heights, but I got a healthy respect for it.
I'm like that. I like that.
Bro, you was up on scaffolding at the World Trade Center or something like that. Doing welding and going live, talking about stocks, bro. Come on, stop it.
Come on, dog. You know what, bro? I wish I could. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I wish I could find like some of them old lives and stuff when I was live talking about stocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I seen a little bit of them joints. I was like, okay, that's what we doing.
Bruh, I wish I could find them joints, bro. They so... Anyway, let's get to it, man. How we feeling, Jose? Let's call out some of our people right quick,
Shout them out.
Jerome Simmons. Jack K was good. Will Mack was good. T-Mac was partner, family. T-Mac say, welcome home, September. That's a fact. Cheesy Bread was good, family. Million Man, peace be unto you as well. Let's go. See, y'all be going too fast too early, man. Double R was good. Dollar Bill was good. Pat Davis was good. It's CT was good. First Generation Millionaire was good. Dancing Diamonds, I see you, family. Tamara Buchanan, I see you, family. Larry Morgan, OG, I see you, family. Talicia, I see you, family. Big Bell, I see you, family. Belina was good, love. KD was good, love. I see you, man. I see you. Roxanne was good. Every week, I see you. Max B, I see you every week. Let me just shout out all my people who come every week, dog. God dang. I'm full of energy today, dog.
I see.
I'm not gonna lie, girl. Can I tell you why I'm full of energy, bro? I'm gonna tell you why I'm full of energy. I'm gonna talk about it a little later. First of all, Organic Profit was good, man. TD Carter was good. Eric Brown, Davion was good. KT Tactical was good, family. I see my people, Patreon in the building. Trappers Nines in the building. Chelsea was good. I see you, love. I see y'all. I see y'all, man. I see y'all. I see y'all. Lance was good. It's so many. It's so many. Let me tell you why I feel good, dog. Right? Can I say something, bro? Can I have a moment of like intimacy?
I'm about to say, you know I'm good. Benton in the back probably punching the air.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna make up for it, I promise. Just want a moment of intimacy, dog. So this week I was man, I was kind of just pissed off, bro. Like Friday, you know what I'm saying? Just with so much going on. Like, we never know what people be dealing with. And it ain't our fault. We're not supposed to. Everybody deal with they think different. But a lot just had been going on. And I had a moment where I asked God, is my vision too big? I asked God this. I said, God, like, I think that every visionary and every person in this world should have a healthy dose of delusional. Right? I think you should have. My thing is I love my delusion because I make it become a reality. Right? And I had to ask God, I said, God, like, damn, like all this going on, you know, the building had kind of been pissing me off. You know, we restructuring some stuff. I got some outside issues I'm dealing with that's serious. You know, just, you know, it just was a lot, bro. And I just sat back, bro. My lady, she's in Houston. So I just sat back. I said, God, like, am I tripping? Like, am I tripping? And so I was reading something in the Word. Jose, and it said, it was talking about Peter, right? And it was saying that, so that's what I do. When I had these moments, bro, I like to really be intimate with the Word, right? And I'm reading a book called A Bait of Satan. And so this book is so phenomenal. It talks about offense and how it happens in so many different ways. And so I'm reading that, and I just took a minute from it, bro, and I listened to one of my favorite episodes, Farrakhan, Only God Can Produce a Man. It's one of my favorite speeches that he ever gave, bro. Anytime I'm going through something, bro, like that speech always bring me back to equilibrium, bro. Every time. And one of the things about the speech is he talk about the intimacy between God and Adam. Bro, like he is so profound at talking about the intimacy between God and Adam and then the intimacy between Jesus and the world. He talks about that intimacy. And so as I'm reading that, bro, I'm thinking about, and while I'm reading John 18. So I'm reading John 18, 17, 18. And it talks about how Peter, this is how I got where I was. It talks about how Peter denounces God 3 times, Jesus 3 times. And when Peter does it, a lot of times we look at Peter as Peter was a coward. But it made me think about something. Peter couldn't have been a coward because when the soldiers ran up on Christ, he drew the sword.
He was with that work.
He hit the ear out the gate. He asked no questions. But it made me think about something. Can we be so prideful that we spiritually disobey God? Let me rephrase that. Can we be so strong in our flesh that we spiritually are immature, so we spiritually defy God? Right? Right? So can we be so strong in the flesh that we are spiritually premature? And so we spiritually defy God. And so that made sense to me as I'm looking at that about Peter's, because what happened is Christ tells Peter, hey, you gonna defy me. Peter like, man, you tripping. Defy you, bro. I'm a ride for you. Right? But Peter come from the mud. His outer strength is what you feel me? And so there's a moment where Peter, his spiritual immatureness shows up. And it made me think that as I'm reading it, what happens is God has to break the thing in you that you rely on for strength so that he can build you spiritually to rely on him. That's my word. That's my word. That's my word. God has to break the thing. Because all of us hold on to something that when things get real, we hold this, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that, I'm built like this, I do it. It's the thing you hold on, and God ain't never tell you do none of that. So when I think about Peter, I think about that. I said, yo, God had to break Peter physically. God had to break Peter physically. And the only way to break you physically is to threaten the thing that you hold strong. Put it in a situation where it breaks so you can no longer hold on to it.
Good.
And so he broke him physically. Not once, not twice, 3 times. As soon as you did it the 3rd time, the rooster crowed. That means immediately, boom, it hit his head. Oh, man. He started crying. He ran for shame. But mind you, Christ had already told him, hey, but don't worry. After you do that, still go do my work and talk to my sheep. Because now, watch this, your ego is gone, and now you totally operating on me.
Finish your mission.
I got to break you in this word. I gotta break you in this manner so that you can do the thing that I need you to do. You ain't gonna do it as long as you got that, because you gonna fall back on strength, on what makes you strong. I don't need what makes you, the thing that makes you strong, I don't need that for you to do my work. I need me to make you strong. I don't need that, because that is gonna get us in trouble. That's gonna water down the mission. I need to break that so we can give birth, so we can nurture and mature, so we can get intimate. Because what happens, once I break you, you don't got no choice but to come to me in intimacy.
That's good.
That's where we get intimate at. I gotta break that so you can come to me whole, if that makes sense. Ooh!
Good.
I gotta break that so you can come to me whole and vulnerable, so we can be intimate. So then I can say, now go do that. And so reading that made me say, okay, I get it. All of this is going on because I'm relying on my strength to get me through this, because I've always relied on it. This is what always got me through. Watch this. So I think this is what always got me through. So you put me through the pressure cooker so you can break it, so I can come to you whole and say, all right, God, like, I'm out. It's on you. It's done. I'm all right. And it's welcome. Come on, let's rock. I got you. I've been waiting on you. You've been trying, but I've been waiting on you. Come on now. You ready? Come on. I know I still got some more work to do on you, but you're ready now. Come on. So that's why I'm just
on this rock. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm just in that. You know what I'm saying? So I just share my intimate relationship, my intimate moment with God with y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get to it. I know y'all already
get to the show. What we talking about today?
All right, so today, man, we got a lot to talk about in the show, man. We're going to talk about, we're going to run down some numbers about the Bloody September. We're going to talk about, is NVIDIA in trouble? Right, we're also going to talk about the phases of AI. I like that. The phases of AI, and are we too early? Or are we late? Let me rephrase it. We're going to talk about the phases of AI. Are we still early, or are we too late? We're going to talk about that tonight. And we're going to talk about a stock that's actually not only outperforming NVIDIA, but outperforming every other stock in the S&P for the last few years. And it's so slept on. So slept on. So tonight we got an interesting show, man. Let's get the lights up, let y'all know. Jose, I see 2,000 people in the chat. Do we see more than that? Because the screen was freezing for a second. Mm-hmm.
That thing going in and out. I know sometimes it fluctuates. We're having issues with the audio, but we good, though.
I saw somebody say we had 3,000.
Yeah, it was.
It was?
Yeah, it's doing something.
Yeah,
YouTube.
All right, cool.
We
All right, let's get into the chat, man. Let's get our mantra update. Y'all know how we started. If this your first time rocking with us, just know our mantra is what get us through. You know, it's what we stand on. It's what we love. It's how we are able to talk to y'all. It's a belief that we have when it comes to this game. So let's get into it, man. I am a certified Wall Street trapper. I'm confident in my ability to make great investments. The stock market is a machine that prints money, and I am more than capable of operating this machine. Not only will I free myself, but my family will eat for a lifetime based on the information I apply today. I'm a money maker and a wealth builder. Today, I break all chains that anchor me to that poverty mindset. My ancestors will smile now because I'll turn our last name into an asset. My family's purchasing power will increase indefinitely. Today, I make the declaration that no longer will I be a slave to money. No longer will the generations behind me inherit lack. No longer will I submit to selling my time for money. I am a first-generation millionaire. I am the architect of my family's legacy. I am a certified Wall Street trapper, and Wall Street looks like us now. Let's go, man. Hey, shout out to Shout out to the people in the chat that's putting their hand up. That's cold-blooded. I like that.
Hand over the heart, hands in the
They
chat.
got the heart there. I like it. All right, man. Jose, we got some stuff to talk about, man. We got it. How you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm feeling good, bro. That was a word, though. You hit a couple different words this morning.
Bro,
this evening, tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you know, I've been,
It's alignment, let's say that.
I like that. I just I've been focusing on, bro, really just evolving in every area I can, bro. And in doing so, that requires a different level of faith. It requires, you know, faith is how we please God, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we gotta have faith, bro. And when we don't have faith, bro, it's hard for us to really like communicate with him on a level that's necessary. A lot of times we operate through life on our own, and we don't operate in the best faith, and that can also be a hindrance to us. All right, so
yeah, I've been catching the morning word. People been hitting me up like that morning word been on. You know,
what morning word?
The lives you be.
Me?
The lives in the truck.
Oh man, listen.
You already know.
My moment. Anyway, let's get to it, man. Trap on the charts, man. Let's see what we gonna go with today. Let's go with, I think technology is gonna be an interesting one. So let's get on the chart and let's look at the cues. I think the cues would be a good one for us to look at. Do we think we want to look at the cues or we want to look at the SPY? Let's look at SPY. So let's let the chat ask. Let's ask the chat. What they want to look at, the cues or the SPY? Let's ask the chat. Let's give the chat 20 seconds to answer that, Jose. Do we want to look at the cues or do we want to look at SPY? Let's ask the chat right quick. Do they want to look at the cues or do they want to look at SPY? The cues or SPY? Cues or SPY? Let's ask the chat right quick. Do they want to look at the cues or do they want to look at SPY? Spy, Q. What you think is more of, Jose? I think it's the cues.
How about I say it's the cues?
It's the
Looks
cues.
like it's some cues.
It's like, Trap, we want to see that tech. All right, let's get to it then. Tech it is. Let's go. We're going to get on the cues. Let's erase everything off the chart so we can start butt naked. Ladies, I mean no harm. All right, let's get to it. So here's what we're gonna do. First thing we're gonna do on the chart, y'all. Let's go to it right quick. Boom, let's go to monthly. All right, let's go monthly on the cues. We're gonna start off with August on the cues. All right, so we see that. We have I don't worry about the current. I like to worry about where we are. So here we are on this. We see we had a high. We'll mark something out right quick. Boom. We had a high of 583. Always go previous candle first, especially because it's the first day. Then we had a low. And then let's mark that right quick. We're gonna mark that with ML, PML, previous month low. We're gonna mark that with that, previous month low, so we know that. And then we're gonna come right here and we're gonna mark that. We're gonna write on it, previous month high. You can see mine pop up because it already love it. All right, let's go with that. So we got our previous month low, we got our previous month high. That put us in the zone. Then we're gonna come here. Right, we're not gonna look at the current candle yet, but we're gonna do this. Previous month, watch this. Watch what we about to put right here. Watch this, I'm boxing it in. Watch how we box this in though. Matter of fact, we're gonna take that off. We're gonna do this. Previous week high, we're gonna write that down. That gives us the data. Previous week high. Because what this allows us to do is to understand what we're looking at today. This will give us what we're going to do right here. By doing this, this allows us to box in key areas that the market going to look for. All right, so now we wrote something out. But what we're going to do is change this right quick. We're going to make this, we're going to thicken that line up. That way we can differentiate what it is. All right, let's do that. All right, then let's change the color on it. Let's go blue. That way we ain't misconstruing nothing. All right, there we go. So we got a previous month high, previous month low, previous week high, previous week low. Now, let's look at this chart right quick. Wait, get that off there. We're going to start on this weekly. Make sure we get that in now because we don't want to give it. Wait, I got something wrong. Previous month high. Oh, I got the thing. Previous week high, previous week low. Okay, let me change it. Okay, I mixed it up. Tapped the wrong button. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, there we go. Now we on tune. All right, so we got our previous month high, previous month low. We got our previous week high, previous week low, so we kind of know what's going on. These zones will help us out because now we can say, hey, are we hitting last month's low? Are we hitting last month's high? Are we hitting last week's low? Are we hitting last week's high? These going to help us out a lot, right? So let's look at what we're looking at right now. Let's get our brush. So, I mean, we can just use this. Yeah, right. So we know from here to here. I'm not going to use this because that don't go like that. This is where it was. You can use this, but you know for sure if I would have had it up previously, you'd have already understood that that was already broken at. So we actually came here with it. So it actually gapped down, right? That's where it actually was at. It actually, that was the diagonal, the horizontal, the diagonal line. I had already drew that out before, so we knew it. So it gapped down before under that line if you had your chart out. Why? I did that because I had already drew that out before, so I already knew where that line was, just for all my people that was like, Trap, I ain't supposed to touch that like that. I had already drew that out before, so I already knew where it was previous to that, right? So I want you to see something. The reason why, because that was the swing low of this whole move, right? So what you already understand and you already see is that we are underneath the previous week's low, because you know that because we had that gap down already, right? We had that gap down already. Now, what we do know is, again, y'all know that I'm not a fan of trend lines like that. I like the diagonal lines, but I'm going to use this for a reason. And I'm going to explain the reason why I'm going to use that. So if everybody who was looking at the S&P, the QQQ, you already know it gapped down below your trend line this morning, right? So immediately you knew that triggered a different mindset for you. You went into a different zone. You honored that trend line. So when you saw that gap down, immediately you switched. So that's why I drew that trend line right there, because my people who was already looking at the Qs, that gap down already jumped under your trend line. You knew that already. So if I'd have put it on the other side, you'd be like, Trap, that's how I knew y'all be paying attention, right? I be thinking for y'all. I already know what y'all was going to do. Trap, that went on right there. I get it. It was already there. All right, so just looking at that weekly, we see that. But here, let's talk about this line right here and see what a couple lines tell us. So we see this uptrend that happens. We see this line right here. Now, what this is right here, this tells us that we hit this all-time high, and then sellers got rejected, which is good. We understand that, right? But then what happens with the next candle here, we got to already expect that I already in my mind internalized that highs will be rejected. You need a bold move to put you past a high. You need a bold move to push you past a low. Now watch this. From an all-time high and a market low, here's what's going to happen. You need some type of catalyst to push you past that. You need some type of news. You need some type of explosive earnings. You need some type of catalyst, because on its own, it's going to be really, really hard for just a stock to just move past it on a regular day, right? So you're going to need some type of catalyst to help push that. So right then in your head, you need some type of catalyst to help push you forward. Now, here's what you understand about this as well. The next line is this one here, where we're talking about, you see sellers step in and push this all the way down. Now, when they push this down, I'm okay with it, because if you look at our trend line, which was there previously, it stopped right at that trend. It stopped dead on that line. So here's what you got to understand too. Watch this. On the bottom side of that line, there's orders right there. There's a lot of stops right there on the other side of that line. Always, 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 always. Why? Because institutions know what? Retail investors always put their stops right on the bottom side of their trend line, right? Retail, so tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. Institutions totally understand that retail investors put their stops right on the back side of that diagonal trend line. They know that. They play you for that, right? So here's what happens. Now, the next doji we get is a what? To end the month, what do we get? We get a doji candle, which tells us what? There's an indecision. There's some type of indecision happening. Now watch this. I want to show you how the news, don't think that news is random. Don't think that news that come out is random. Do not think that news that come out is random. Think about this. Toward the end of the day, watch this. The end of the day, Friday, which is the last day of what? August, going into September, when you can't do nothing about it, they come out and say what? Trump tariffs are illegal. Which automatically causes what? The market to fall. I want you to always put that in your head. This news that comes out is not random. It never is. It's always predicated on some type of release to do something. So we understand, watch this, this how they got us. They drop that news. They already know what? Watch this. They already know, for my people with my trend line up, they already know you got the bloody September in your head already. So they already know, hey, if that thing go underneath that trend line, I'm out. I'm out. So what happened? We opened up Monday. Monday, we see Dow futures, futures fall. We wake up this morning, fall down. What happened? Everybody stops out. Because your stops don't go out. Watch this. Your stops do not go out overnight in futures. Your stops only go out when? In the morning. When the market is active. So what happens? They know everybody got them stops on the backside of that trend line. That gap down in the morning automatically does what to you? Take your money. Take your money. The reason why, watch this. So the reason why that I'm not telling you not to do it or not, I just want you to be mindful that news that comes out isn't just coincidental. Certain things that come out play into certain things. Okay, let's go a little further. Now we get into the daily. So I'm going to take this off here because I just wanted to show that for that. Let's get into the daily. Now we're going to tap a little deeper in. We're going to run through this. We're gonna give y'all, we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna move on. So let's do this. All right, we just wanna look at it. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, what is our bias? The first thing we see is our current candle has a gap down, but it's green, it's cool. Immediately, what we wanna do on this candle is, on this chart, is do this. Boom, boom. Watch this. First thing we wanna do in that chart is that. Man, Trap, why you want to do that on the chart? Because the first thing we need to do is identify what sticks out to us immediately. The first thing that sticks out to us is that gap down. That gap down is actually what's called an imbalance. That gap down, right? So that means there's orders going to be right there that got to get filled. Why? Because the market always going to do what? Search for any type of what? New money. Markets move the money. Markets search for money. So because they search for money, we want to identify where are the pockets where the market can go get money from. Right? We want to identify where are the pockets where the market can go get money from. Okay, the first thing we see is, oop, there goes a pocket. So that's the first thing we do. We see the gap down, immediately we write out, oop, there goes a pocket. Now let's go a little higher. Here's where we go. We look at our all-time high at 583. We come down, we say, okay, here's where we close at today. Now, I'll mark this on my daily because it makes a whole bunch of more sense to me. With our mark, you can mark your daily low. Boom. You're going to write that down. You're going to put, watch this, because it's a new day, you're going to write this on there. What am I thinking? Text. Watch this. Watch what I'm about to put. Because we going into the day, you're going to write this. Because it's for tomorrow, you're going to write this. Tuesday low. You're going to write down Tuesday low on that. So now you're going to understand, all right, here's what he is. I need to just make sure that can be a reference point for you. Right? It can be a reference point for you. As you get into the week, you want to see, okay, where am I at? Am I at the previous week's low? Am I at Tuesday's low? This is the first day of the week. These type of things going to help you along the journey. Right? Now, here's what we do know right here. When we look at this, watch this. So this move here, this whole up move is predicated off this candle right here. We understand that sellers stepped in, really came in strong. Buyers got seller. Watch this. Sellers stepped in. We had a gap down. Not really a gap down, but a push down. Sellers stepped in really hard. And then that was on Friday. Sellers stepped in really hard. What news came out Friday that actually helped push that down? What news did we have Friday that caused the Qs to go down? What was that thing? So it's going to be good for us to always think about news. So in your journal, I want you to write out news. I want you to write out anything that you can revert back to that can help you as you are. The more notes you have, the more you can identify what's going on. So put that in your mind. Notes, write this down. Notes become my footprints. Write that down. Notes become my footprints because notes will help you identify what's going on. And you can say, oh, I know why this happened. I saw why this happened. I seen this do that, right? So you can start identifying what's going on, right? Yep, there you go. Somebody said tariffs. Somebody said, yep, that's good. We understand that. So watch this. So we also know that we came off this high. You have this right here happening, without us getting into all of that. You have this sellers pushing that down. Then we can identify for a fact that right on Tuesday's low, I want to show you something right here that's going to be interesting. So every candle you go to, you're going to have now you don't have to write this down, but I want you to notice this at 561. At 561, what's important is when you look at where this candle opened at, notice, and this is you really getting into the candle communication so you can start identifying certain points on your chart. Notice where this candle gets at. It stops right here where this candle is at. Look at this candle that falls right on top of it. Let me move this up a little bit. Where am I thing doing that? There we go. My bad, y'all. There we go. All right. So notice where this candle sits at. There you go. Now you can see it better. Notice where this candle opened at, right? Where this wick is at. Right on top of that candle. Right on top of that candle. Right on top of, right where that candle's at. So those points tells us that that became a reference point. There's some type of identity going on right there that says, this is interesting. Why? Because nothing happens for any reason. The market keeps data of certain reference points. So we know for a fact that 161.26 wasn't coincidental. That gap down just didn't step there for a reason. How do we know? Because we had multiple touches at that same spot. Right? It'll be multiple touches at that same spot. So what we want to do is put that in our brain, right, and say, is that a support system moving forward? Or is it, what you gotta watch the replays of Trap Technical Analysis, spread the extra time. for sure, Sam. Right? And so what I like to do is just identify, watch this, key levels on my chart that become reference points for me. Right? And so we want to ask ourselves, in our overall trend, when we're looking at this market, what do you see? Watch this. You see that, watch this. We are no longer, watch what I'm about to say right here. This is going to be essential. We are in a space in the market where sellers are dominant. Sellers are dominant. Sellers are dominant right here. So what you need to see, you want to see, watch this, you want to see the buyers get us on top of last week's low. All right, let's go a little further. Just put that in your head. Let's go 4 hour. Let's erase some of this off so we can go. And again, we just want to walk through it so we can just see what we've seen. I just want to give you some numbers on here so you can look at. Not trying to give you like trades or nothing like that. I just want you to see what's going on in the market. I want you to be able to walk through it. I want you to be able to see it. I want you to be able to identify it. Let's go a little further. Close it off. Oh, look how beautiful it looked now. Look how all of our lines line up. Look what happens when we put previous day high, previous day low, previous week high, previous week low, previous month high, previous month low. Now what happens is we've boxed the chart up. So now I'm going to help you out a little more. Watch this. Watch what we about to do here on the 4 hour. I never do it on a 1 hour, on a daily, but I do it on a 4 hour. Because we see where our swing high was, and we come down to the low. Watch this. So here's what we understand. I'm going to show you something right quick. 571.44, which is a 50%er. 571.44 is a 50% move. So you got to ask yourself this question. You now need, on your 4 hour, for me, because this is where I'll trade from, 4 hour, 1 hour. I now need to see buyers get back on top of that 50 before I feel confident to say that we are back in upward momentum. As long as we under that 50% range, we are 100% still in seller's territory, which means the market has to create what? Lower what? Highs. So in that, it tells us as long as we under that 50%, we can get an upward move, we can get some buying pressure, but what does it bounce off to come back down to create lows? Oh, I hope that's making sense for us. So in a downtrend, you want to see what? You're going to see what? higher what? Lower what? Highs. So you can see the market go up, but you got to ask yourself, is it getting back on top of our 50% retracement, or is it just creating a lower high to solidify the downtrend? Oh my God, I hope we got that. I hope we got that, because that's essential for us. I don't do it on a daily. I wait till I do it on a full hour and a 1 hour, because that's where I execute off, and that's where we get the most information at. If we making sense here? All right, last but not least, we're going to go to the 1 hour just so we can get out of here and go about our business so we can get back to this show. How we feeling in the chat? How we feeling in the chat? How we feeling in the chat? All right, let's go. All right, so now the 1 hour give us everything we need to know. Now, here's what's interesting when you look at the 1 hour. Now, you see more what? More candles taking place on the 1 hour, which means we got more information. Now, this tells us something though. This tells us we got to really have our details dialed in. So the monthly, weekly, daily, that's the information that helps us execute on the 1 hour. So we don't go straight to the 1 hour. We start seeing different things and we start lining out different things so that once we get to our execution zone, we can execute to the fullest. So here we go. Watch this. Based on this 1 hour chart, what do we see? We see something interesting, Trap. What do I see? I see, watch this, y'all. I see this happening. Did we see it on a daily? Did we see it on a 4 hour? Now let's look at the 1 hour. What do we see, Trap? We see buyers stepping in. We see buyers stepping in, going straight into what? Buyers stepping in, going straight into what? Oh, we see this. I hope we see this, y'all. So now what happens right here is, watch this. This gap, this zone, this pool becomes so critical. You know why? Because it can be fuel to go up or down. These orders that's inside of here can be fuel to go up or down. So that's where our 50% comes in at, because we tell ourselves this question. If the fuel takes it above the 50%, we know for a fact that what? Buyers have what? Regained control. But if the fuel can push it up and then now it becomes fuels that push it down, what happens is, watch this, the people that sell coming out of that actually fuel the downtrend. Oh my God. They actually fuel the sellers to push it down. So we got to ask ourselves this question. The next thing that happened is, why is it important that we understand this area of 568.84, the previous week low? You know why? Because I'm about to give you some game right quick. A previous week low is also a place where liquidity lies. Just like a previous week high is a place where liquidity lies. Why? Because those become reference points for the market to do what? Track footprints. So watch this when I tell you. Be mindful, if it goes up to that previous week low, see what it does there. Watch this. There's stops on the other side of that. Why? Because the market keeps track of lows and highs. The market doesn't care about feelings. The market doesn't care about emotion. The market only cares about what is the footprints in the sand. Because that's what it's going to base every move off. So we're going to lock in on our 50% retracement. We're going to lock on that previous week low, right? We're going to lock in on those. Why? Because if it hits that previous low, what does it do? It's an area of interest. Watch this. A previous low becomes a key area of interest for us, because if it bounces above that low, and my 50, we know buyers are in control. But the market will go above that. Watch this. The market will put a wick above that previous week low and then shoot back down. It'll take those stops out of there and go back down to the downside. So we got to ask ourselves, in this moment, what is the market showing us on these key areas? That's all I want to do. I don't want to give you an entry. I don't want to give you an exit. I just want to help you mark out some key areas on your chart so now you can look at your chart and you can come up with whatever kind of data you need. I just want to help you get in the game and plant the seeds, but you got to do the fertilizing. Let's go, man. All right, bro. I know I took a little long on that, Benton. Don't trip. I just got to make sure I give them what they need. We got to give the people what they need, Benton. The people said that they love the charting segment of the game. And watch this, people. We got to remember, we are in September. Do not, I want you to say this before we go further. I want you to say this before we go further. I will not be market liquidity. Matter of fact, I want you to change it. I will not be on the bad side of market liquidity. All right, let's get to it, Ben. All right, so let's talk about our portfolio. Let me just say something. I told my people in the Patreon today, at the end of the day, I'm so pissed off, y'all. I'm pissed off because this morning we sold Apple and we sold Google just to get our liquidity on. We was up in both of those plays. We was up pretty good in both of those plays. We sold those plays only for them to play rockhead games. That's right. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that like I'm old school. I'm going to say that like I'm 43 years old. I'm going to say that like I 100% was a corner boy back in the late 90s and early 2000s. I'm going to say this again. The market played rockhead games with us. The market played rockhead games with us. Why do they play rockhead games with us? Because they wait till the end of the day to say, yeah, Google, we good. You're going to work things out in your favor. Google goes up 8%, $17 after hours, and Apple gets a piece of that, and then what Apple does goes up $6. I say, bro, like, there's very few things that piss me off with the market. I promise you this was one of them. There's very few things. They play rockhead, Pookie off New Jack City games with me today. Especially in September when you know you need that bread because you putting yourself, I'm like, all right, we going to, you know, and we was up pretty good on them too. I'm like, all right, let me take this 15 grand from here. Let me take this 20 grand from here. Put it on the side. All right, let me cancel the, let me take the Lily and the CrowdStrike L. We cool with that? I bet, let's go. I'm ready, right? We put in the NVIDIA play at the end of the day. We marked that out. And bro, when I say I got in the Freedom Center, somebody said, hey, Trap, boy, that Google play cook. I say, cooking what? Cooking what? What is cooking? You know what I mean? In my mind, I'm like, boy, I'm glad I got out that bit. What happened? Boy, I come here, that thing said up $17, bro. When I say, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to it, man. AMAC, Costco, Meta, all of these plays out December, January. Not really worried about it. I'm okay. Like that Netflix, did a little something today, the NVIDIA play. We got on a small NVIDIA play. I mapped that out from, damn, did I put that on there? Where's my NVIDIA play? I don't see my NVIDIA play. No, that's on me. I might have put the wrong thing up. It's supposed to be up there. It's all right. It might be my fault. I might have sent Steve the bad screenshot. So, but no, because the Apple play would have been on it. I don't know where that's at. Anyway. Palo Alto up there, PLTR, our Palantir plays up there, Palo Alto players up there, and our PLTR players up there, which is our Palantir play. Let's go a little further. I wonder what happened to our damn NVIDIA play. Spotify, Visa. Spotify, Visa. So that's what we got right there. All right, let's go a little further. That's our plays. We not even plays. We're not in a lot of plays right now. My goal for us is I put in an NVIDIA play. Why the fuck that play ain't show up on the? I'm confused as shit right now. You hear me? I'm confused as hell right now. I'm confused. Damn. Anyway, so Ashan, I'm still in AJG, dog.
I was gonna say, like, this is it's going on like what? Chat, help me out. How long has it been? Like 5 weeks? 6 weeks now?
I don't know what's going on here.
They was green too. they was green.
Right? Sprouts Farmers Market whooping my ass.
Yeah.
I should have been out of that when I was down $300. I've been said I'm gonna get out the damn call. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, somebody say AJG still chat. Yeah, bro, I don't. So we got a small, so I'll say we got a small NVIDIA call in, and we did, I can't give y'all the date. Man, flush myself. You right, dog. You right, dog. You right. So we did a small NVIDIA play based on something we saw on the chart. And Okay. Can we got 5 minutes? I know we behind.
You better pull up another chart.
I'm gonna make it up. I'm gonna make it up to you. I'm gonna make it up. Ben, I'm gonna make it up to you. I promise. Ben, I promise I'm gonna make it up to you. Ben, I promise I'm gonna make it up to you. I promise I'm gonna make it up to you. I promise I'm gonna make it up to you. If I don't get the pen, I can't make it up to you. What I did with the pen?
This boy done lost his pen.
He was right there with me, dog.
The tablet pen, too.
Bro, I just had it. All right, I'll figure it out. All right, let's do this. So I'll show y'all what my play was, what I helped the trappers with, the Patreon with. Let's get it right quick. I'm gonna run through this right quick so y'all can see it. I'll let y'all know it. You know, I know y'all like to watch. I know y'all like to understand what Trap be doing. You in the Patreon, we spent a long time this weekend on the live talking about it, getting into it. It's about time, 1:26, all right, I got time. All right, let's get to it. So here we go. So the first thing I did was, I don't like the fact I don't got my pen, bro. That's crazy. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is if you come to the bottom, oh, there you go. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna just show y'all right quick. I'm not gonna take long because Benton probably won't fight at this point. We saw the gap down happen. Remember, y'all see everything I tell y'all, I have it on here. Previous week high, previous day low right here, week low, boom, right here. All-time high right here, minor resistance right here. I got a base right here, right? Because that's based on where these liquidity lines at. One here, one here. Y'all see it right here. I want you to understand something as well. On your chart, anytime you see something like this, which is a equal low, I'm gonna put a small box right here so y'all can see it. Anytime you see something like that, that is called a equal low. That is 100% gonna be liquidity right there. That's when 2 wicks come down, same point, they can be far apart or it can be together. That equal low will always be liquidity. Know that every time, there's no way around it. You can't shake it out. It's gonna always be liquidity, right? So now watch this. Just Saturday, and me and the Patreon stayed on a call yesterday for about 2 hours working this down yesterday. So shout out to my Patreon member that's in Masters of the Triple Beam, all my people that's in Masters of the Triple Beam or Triple Beam team. So watch what I did. We mapped this out on everything we saw happening, and I told him, I say, listen, if it comes down past this weekly low is a huge bait for us. But remember that 50% retracement that we talked about. So on that 50% retracement, we came from here, swing low, which is right here, to swing high, right? Because this is what our current move was. We went swing low to swing high, and then we had our what, right? So we did that. So watch this. I want to show you something. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't right there. It was right here. I'm sorry. It was right here. Right here. So I did something. I said, hey, y'all, check this out. I want y'all to pay attention to something. There's 173 is that previous week's low. Look how I hit that a few times. So it gave us a base right there too. So it tried to, but it rejected it. So I said, watch this, y'all. I said, buyers have to hold this line. If they don't hold this 173.10, if they don't hold this line, sellers gonna do something. Right now, here's what happened. We got some overnight news. We got the news about the tariffs being illegal, and you always gonna need, remember this what I'm telling you. Watch what I'm about to tell you. You always gonna need some type of news catalyst to push you past a major key level. You're gonna, because it's not gonna get there on its own. You're gonna always need some type of news or some type of catalyst to push you past it, right? And that's what happened. That pushed it past it, got the gap down. So watch this. The gap down came. And when I say the gap down came and literally, I took my thing off. Damn, that's crazy. How the hell I did that? Watch how I blow this up for y'all so y'all can see it. I'm gonna just go right here so we can make it clear as day so nobody can guess. We were so on point with this, y'all. When I say we were so on point with this, we was like super on point with this today. And I had told him, I say, listen, our major area, our discount range is 68.82. I say, this is our discount range. Why? Because we have this right here. That liquidity right there is our discount range, 100%. 100%. Bro, when I say the gap down came, and look what it did right here. Came down, touched that liquidity. Watch this. You see that it went on the other side of that line. What do they have on the back side of that line? Orders. Stops. Why? Because the 168.82 is a what? It's a line in the sand. It knows what? There's people right there waiting for it. So watch this. Then, watch this. After it rejected it, watch this. The bears still say, yo, we right here. Came back down and did what? Took some more orders. Let me get that out of you. Same area, same line. Let me get some more orders. Right? So now what happens? When the bears see the next red candle form, what do they say? Ah! They giant up. Ah! What happens? It comes down. Now I'm about to tell you some gangster stuff that they be doing. Watch this. It comes down, right? Watch this. So now it really locks them in. Now, I previously told my people, I said, listen, unless we get a candle close on top of 168.82, we not going nowhere. If we get a candle close, not a wick, but a candle close under that, sellers are still in control. Because now they didn't just violate it, they claimed that area. They didn't just violate it, they claimed it. So then the next candle, and the whole while I was in my Patreon, I was like, hey, just look at it, y'all. Just look at it, y'all. Just look at it, y'all. Just see what it's doing, y'all. Then watch this. Buyers step in. Watch, this is so gangster how they play this game. Buyers step in. Look what they do, y'all. They step in and push us right back and close on top of our what? 168.82. So now what does that do? It traps the sellers. Oh my God. It becomes poetic at this point. They trap the sellers. So here's what the sellers do. The sellers are a bit stubborn in this situation because they're like, wait, I need to wait on this next candle. All right? Because what do? You don't get out on the first candle. You say, let me see what the next candle gonna do. The next candle they give us, let's open it up, is a what? Doji. What does that do? Indecision. It freezes the sellers. They can't make a move because now they need what? One more candle. Oh, it's poetic. It's poetic. It's poetic. It's poetic. Now what happens is Watch this. This is a 1 hour candle. Now watch how this makes sense. So now the sellers are 2 hours in on not being able to break that zone. Now they're getting impatient. The sellers are now 2 hours in. The sellers are 2 hours in. They need this next candle to be some type of bearish candle. Watch this. Look how good the game is. Let me delete this off of here so we can see this next line. This is the thing that gets them. So now watch this. This next line opens in unison, side by side with them. And then, watch this, look at the little bitty tail on it. We're gonna open it up for them. And this is literally me watching this. It's side by side with them, and then for a brief moment, it comes down. So the sellers say, okay. And then it reverses. Buyers step in. Now, here's what we did. And this, I was real like heavy on my trappers because I stayed on my dean. Once it broke this line right here, once that candle got on top of that doji, and it was about 45 to 50 minutes in, I put our play in. Because not only did we step on top of the liquidity, we then step on top of the hesitation. So buyers, for that moment, have now trapped the sellers. So watch this. This is what I'm about to tell you what happens here. Whoever was short the stock now has to cover their short. The way you cover the short, they got to buy back the stock because they don't want to go deeper in the hole. Or they can hold on into it and be stubborn. Y'all know it's some of those too. So whoever said, yo, I'm out, they stepping in, that buying back of the stock allows the market to do what? Push up a little bit further. So the buying back of the stock by the short sellers covering their rear now actually fuels it up a little more. Not a lot because they still didn't overtake it, but they definitely fueled it up. So for us, we got in this play. I can't tell y'all our entry, but this is what we watch. And I told my people, if it comes back down to 67.21, that will be our exit. This is a short-term play. It's out to November. We got a short-term play. It's a short-term play inside of our long-term play. We want to see it do that. And our goal is for it to come right back up here to 176.38. If we can reclaim 176.38, which is our previous day low, which is also our line in the sand, we feel good about this play. It's a short-term play inside of our long-term play. Let's go. All right, now I'm finished, Jose. Ben, I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. I got you. I promise. No more chart for me tonight. No more chart for me tonight. Let's go, Jose. Let's talk. Let's go. Let's get to it. All right, how y'all feel about that? All right, so September market volatility 25-year breakdown. S&P has posted negative returns in September 15 of the last 25 years with an average loss of 1.3%. Making it the worst month historically. Market drops occurred. 2001, post 9/11, September fell 11%. God damn. Financial crisis, market fell 9.1%. European debt fears, the market fell 7%. Trade wars in 2018, 4%. Market spikes in September are common with the VIX, which is something we need to be paying attention to, the volatility index. Surges above 20 in multiple years, including 2020, 2008, 2011, and 2018. Trading volume also jumps in September as institutional investors return from summer, often triggering sharp repositioning and sell-offs. Remember, September 19th, quiet winching. You will see more volatility in the market. Also remember, tomorrow, Wednesday morning, you will have, this morning you had ISM data. Tomorrow you're going to have JOLTS data, which is jobs, and then Thursday you're going to have non-farm payroll data. All of these things affect the market. Let's go a little further.
September has a brutal history in the stock market. It isn't just another month, it's statistically the worst month for stocks going back more than a century. Since 1928, the S&P 500 has averaged a negative return in September, and some of the most unpredictable market sell-offs in history have unfolded during September. Wall Street traders even call it the September effect because the pattern is so consistent it almost feels like a curse. What makes it so dangerous is the perfect storm of catalysts that collide all at once. Fund managers are locking in profits from the summer run-up, retail investors are back from vacation and shifting cash, and the Fed is usually in the spotlight with big policy meetings that set the tone for the rest of the year. Liquidity dries up fast, volatility spikes, and that combination has caught investors off guard again and again. The timing is even sharper this year, with earnings behind us, tariffs and inflation pushing higher, and the Fed's next rate decision looming. September is lining up to be a real pressure cooker. The market is stretched, valuations are rich, and history says this is when cracks start to show. If you think of the year as a battlefield, September is the ambush zone. Traders know it, algorithms are programmed for it, and anyone not paying attention usually learns the hard way. Hit follow to stay locked in with me. I'll break down every move as this month unfolds.
I don't want us to learn the hard way. I want us to be locked in on this bad boy. Let's go, man. All right, here we go. Just the historical sell-off in September, what sparked them? 2002, 11% dot-com crash, fallout of corporate accounting scandal, Enron, WorldCom. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Bro, yep. 2008, Lehman Brothers, collapse of the financial crisis. 2022, we was ready for this one. Hey, we was ready for this one. Rate hikes, inflation, we was ready for this one. 2001, terrorist attacks on 9/11, and 2011, 7% Eurozone debt crisis and U.S. credit rating downgrade. So remember, there's always some type of catalyst that fuels it, right? And there's always a pump fake that we got to be ready for. So let's go a little further. All right, here we go. Just looking at some different, I just like to give y'all data. September performance of the S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ. From 2000 to 2024, the red line highlights years of loss. The bottom line, September, is the VIX, and the blue marks volatility spikes often preceding or conceding with market drops. The visual proves that pattern. September isn't just volatile, it's historically brutal. It's historically brutal. And I just want us to be ready for it. That's all. I want us in this month here, I want us to trade with precision. I want us to execute with precision. And I want us to buy our shares with precision, right? I want us to really, really be cautious and always remember right here, remember this, right? September 19th is quiet winching. A couple days before that and a couple days after that, we should also be prepared for volatility, right? Let's go a little further. Because big banks are going to be rebalancing their portfolios. They're going to be cutting off losers, but also some options expirations expire on that day. So a lot of that happens on that day. Let's look at 11 stocks that drive nearly 40% of the market. NVIDIA, 7% of the market. Microsoft, 6% of the market. Apple, 5% of the market. Amazon, 4.2% of the market. Google, 4.2% of the market. Meta, 3.2% of the market. Yo, did you all see what Broadcom did today? It actually went bonkers on a cool, you hear me? It's one of the ones I love. I'm waiting to get back in Broadcom. Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan, and Walmart. This is your big 11 right here. This is your big 11. These are the ones, when they on the right side, the market gonna just move. Think of it. These 11 stocks represent 40% of the market. So these 11 stocks, right? So anytime, I'm gonna tell you something, anytime you get Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, and Broadcom all up, you can just think the market gonna be green. It's gonna be a green day. It's pick of the litter. Go and pick what you want. Calls everywhere. Call. If you put them on your chart and you get it, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Broadcom, if you get all them up on one day, just throw it out there. Whatever you want to get, it's on. You can scalp, you can scalp, you can snipe, you can whatever you want. You get, just throw it out there. Yeah, I got you. Let's go a little further, man. All right, so gold prices continue to rise. And I told my people something that was really good. I said, say, y'all, I didn't do it. Actually should have. I said, hey, y'all, we really should watch gold. I said, I think about putting in a 60-day gold call just for gold, just to go through September. Just 60 days just to go, because I know when the market is under scrutiny in September, gold always surge. Should have did it, didn't do it. But check it out. Gold prices surge from 2023 to 2025. And I've been saying this you need to own some gold, right? Gold has nearly doubled, raising from 1930 in early 23 to 3,500 almost now as of August 25. And I want to say something. In 2023, when 2022 when the market was down, I was saying buy gold. And we was saying that on Trappin. This is when Trappin Tuesdays first started. Remember when Trappin Tuesdays first started, we was seeing blood on the market. We was seeing blood. And some of y'all been rocking with me since that in the Patreon. Remember we was saying, this is when we was buying XLC, this is when we was buying XLE, this is when we was buying oil stocks. All we was buying was oil and energy and Netflix. We was buying all energy and Netflix on the trade. That's all we was we was trading. We got smoked on one, though. OIH. That sucker smoked us, boy. Oh, and Ulta Beauty. Ooh. How do I got smoked on an Ulta Beauty call. I'm not even gonna lie. God. All right. For growth, gold is up, man. Again, a spike. Gold jumped during the pandemic, hitting 17 amid the global uncertainty. Remember, anytime there's uncertainty in the market, always understand that gold will run. Let's go. Axel Axe, I got my son Netflix today. Let's go, man. Let's go a little further, man.
Hi, Mr. Howard. Thank you so much for all the technical analysis videos that you've been posting. Super helpful. My question is, what candles should we be looking for to tell us if it's an uptrend, downtrend, or consolidation? I know you speak about dojis, but what others should we be looking for? Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, Queen. Hope you're doing good. Right? So beautiful. So you're not actually looking for a dojis. Here's what you want to look for. Watch this. An uptrend consists of higher highs and what? Higher and lower and higher lows. That's an uptrend. So when you see candles going higher, that is a higher high, and then you see higher lows. When you see a downtrend, you see what? Lower highs and what? Lower lows. Now, a doji in the middle of an uptrend doesn't tell you much. A doji at the top or the bottom of an uptrend or bottom of a downtrend tells you a lot. So dojis tell you a lot depending on what? Positioning. Dojis tell you nothing in the middle of the uptrend. It don't really tell you nothing. At the top of it, it tells you a lot. It tells you be cautious, be hesitant, and you want that next candle to do what? Confirm. At the bottom of a downtrend, it tells you what? Be cautious, do what? confirm. So, uptrend, higher highs, higher lows confirm that we are still in an uptrend. Lower highs, lower lows tells us we are in a downtrend. If the market is going sideways, not really making consistent higher highs or consistent lower highs, then we understand that it's going sideways. And remember, sideways movements can be tight, and it can be broad, and it can be medium, meaning it can be tight where it's just like up and down, up and down, up and down, not going nowhere. It can be broad like this, or it can be like, right? But it can still be within the same range. So you just want to be mindful of that. I think I'm gonna make a video on that. That's probably a video we'll shoot tomorrow. We'll shoot a real well thought out, broke down video on that tomorrow because people need to really understand it from a high level. So let's go a little further. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate you. That's why we're trying to put out more and more technical analysis videos, as well as putting out just individual stock videos so we can help y'all really understand how to move around this. Because I promise you, once you start seeing the market dip, you're gonna be like Picasso. Right, now watch this. Technical analysis does not mean you still gonna go 100 and undefeated on your trades. It just means you'll understand why a trade went one way or another. And that is more important than you getting a trade right or wrong. Most people don't understand when I say this, and I say this, and I say this, and I say this. Your ability to execute is your ability to execute and understand is more important than you winning or losing. And the reason why is because winning or losing teaches you or doesn't teach you. Understanding why you did it helps you now become better. Let's go a little further. Oh, man, my favorite. All right, man, this week, one other than, and this was, I'm going to tell you something. I be in my house, man, and Blue Laces 2 always gets me right. Mogulin ain't know that. You heard me? You heard me? All right, so, I can't say Nip name. I be forgetting. What? How you say it, Jose? Ermias?
Oh yeah, I don't.
I don't want to do it wrong.
Nipsey.
So Nip, born in Central LA, Nipsey Hussle rose from the gang-affiliated streets to become a visionary entrepreneur, artist, and activist. He didn't just rap; he built it from selling mixtapes out the trunk of his and launching his Proud to Pay campaign. He flipped music business model on his head and proved that ownership matters. Nipsey invested in real estate, on a tech-driven retail store, and co-founded a STEM center to underserved youth. He bridged street culture with boardroom strategies, showing that legacy is built through impact, not just income. His mantra, "The marathon continues," wasn't just a slogan, it was a mindset. Long-term vision, relentless grind, community elevation. He taught us that success isn't about escaping your roots, it's about transforming them. Nipsey's life is a masterpiece in letting yourself build with purpose and turning hustle into healing. Bernard, let me ask you a question right quick, bro. What do we have to do to turn this in? What do we got to do to get a STEM, to get the stem cell thing in here? What do we got to do for like the kids in that room? Yeah, what do we got to do to do that? I think that kids room, we can make that for STEM. I think that'd be dope. And then that other room that's like a classroom that we haven't figured out, if we partner with like a middle school. So I'm not saying we rejecting the high school, but I'm saying like that elementary and middle school, I think that'd be real dope, bro. If we can find a way to partner with somebody. So even if it's the webinar room, it can be a dope room where we do like 45 kids. We have a free stem cell program. I think that'd be real dope, bro.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
Yeah, so let's just put that on our thing for when that, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's go, y'all. Just came to my mind when I thought about that, because my daughter had STEM at her school, and I just thought it was so dope. All right, so let's go.
Hermes was born August 15, 1985 in South LA's Crenshaw district. Although his parents separated, he grew up with both his mom and dad in his life, and they only lived a few minutes apart. His family consisted of himself, his little sister, and his older brother, who he would later refer to as Black Sam. Hip-hop was always a part of his life. As early as 6 years old, he was already memorizing songs by his favorite rap group, Criss Cross. At the time, a lot of young artists were getting signed to labels and blowing up, so as long as he could remember, his only goal was to make music and sign a record deal.
I guess when I was probably 8, 9, my goal was that by the time I'm 12, 13, I'll be signed and cracking.
Growing up, his older brother Sam was always a huge influence on him. As he grew into his teens and saw how Sam hustled for different streams of money, this motivated him to go get it as well. A friend who lived across the street from him was the only one on the block who owned a computer. He used his money he saved up to buy a microphone, and at just 11 years old, he recorded his first song ever over a Snoop Dogg instrumental. His beats were actually what started to get him recognized in his neighborhood, as his friends started asking him for production. Despite all the side hustles he did to make cash, he still couldn't afford to buy his own studio equipment, as it was very expensive back then. So at 13, he started exploring other options. This is where he made his entrance to the gang culture. More specifically, he joined the Rolling 60s Crips, which was the most dominant gang in the Crenshaw area. But in the back of his head, he always knew he had a bigger picture, and he knew he didn't want to do this forever. His mother, of course, didn't react well to this, and even changed the locks on the doors after kicking him out of the house. He moved around the corner to his grandma's, but he says this only provoked him more, as he was now unsupervised and could hang on the block all day. Being in the streets never distracted him from chasing his dream of music, though. At about 15, he really started to consider it a way out. One day he was recording and realized he needed a name that better suited the way he lived. A friend of his named Baby Gooch told him to give him a few days and he'd come up with a name for him. He ended up leaving the house that day to make some money, and when they all met up a few days later, Baby Gooch saw how easy it was for him to make cash, and he told him to rap under the name Nipsey Hussle. This was a reference to Nipsey Russell, who was a poet and comedian in the 1950s. And they just changed it around to better suit his lifestyle. When he was 18, his family took a 3-month trip back to his father's homeland, and when he saw how people were living over there, he realized how blessed he actually was. When he returned, life in the streets were also becoming more dangerous. He was involved in a shootout that was caught on camera. Nipsey was never identified, but a few of his close friends were. When he saw the sentences they received, he realized this life was only going to lead him to jail or death. And this moment changed his life. He knew it was time to invest everything he had into himself and his brand. In December of 2005, he released his mixtape Slauson Boys Volume 1. He printed out copies and gave them to everyone he knew to help pass them out. His pitch was, if it's whack, throw it out your window. And because of this, he says a lot of people actually took it and listened.
That was my sales pitch. I'll be on Crenshaw and Slauson in front of the Master Burger. I just thought it was so many people that was, oh, check my CD out, buy my music. Yeah, I wanted to distinguish myself. So I'm like, if it's whack, throw it out the window. I'm going to sit right here. And a lot of times they'll be like, just because I said that, like, man, let me check that out, huh?
A friend of his named Big U saw the work he had been putting in and offered to manage him. This ended up being a great move for Nipsey, as Big U had many connections. One of those was a man named Steve Lobel, who heard the Slauson Boys mixtape and loved it. Now Nipsey had 2 managers. Steve and Big U pushed his vision like it was their own, but just as everything was going well, he was still facing setbacks. In November of that year, his brother's house got raided by the cops, and they ended up taking all their studio equipment. Nipsey ended up facing charges as well for a shotgun they found. This setback caused him to hit the streets again to make some money for a lawyer, but luckily for him, he already had a lot of music he previously recorded. He put that music on a demo tape, and one day he was on the block when rapper The Game pulled up to a red light. Nipsey gave The Game his demo tape and he ended up calling him that night to work. The Game wasn't the only one taking notice of Nipsey's hustle, and a film director even reached out that same year, casting him in the Bone Thugs and Harmony movie, I Tried. While on set filming the movie, he would meet Johnny Shipes, who had his own label under Sony and Epic Records. He was the only person at the time who was willing to take a chance on Nipsey because of his gang affiliation.
And he was like, well, there's this kid Nipsey Hussle, but he's a real street dude. I don't know if you're going to want to, he's in the mix out there. So I looked him up and he had like one song on there, this song called Bullets Ain't Got No Names. And I was like, yo, this is fucking incredible.
He was getting buzz for a track he had out titled Bullets Ain't Got No Name, which was produced by Kid Ink. This would also be the title of his first mixtape under the label, which dropped in April of 2008 and got his foot into the industry. Now other West Coast rappers like Game and Snoop Dogg started co-signing his movement and made songs with him. In the music video to this song, they all wore Crenshaw sweaters, and after this video dropped, people started asking where they could get one. Nipsey, Black Sam, and Fat started selling the shirts on the corner, but the police kept confiscating the clothes. So they ended up leasing a store which would become the original Marathon clothing store. In 2010, Epic Records had budget cuts, and instead of throwing Nipsey off the label, they decided to give him his own imprint, which birthed the All Money In Records. This momentum got him featured on the 2010 XXL Freshman list alongside J-Rock, Big Sean, and J. Cole. At this point, his name was getting recognized, but his music still wasn't selling the kind of numbers he and the label expected. He ended up deciding to stay fully independent and do it all himself. Wasting no time, he dropped 2 more mixtapes on his own, the Slauson Boys and the Marathon. Although they performed well, the celebration was short-lived, as he and 4 others were taken into custody after an altercation with the police. During the altercation, the police actually fired shots at Black Sam, but they missed and nobody was injured. All 5 were arrested, and Black Sam ended up going away for a few years, resulting in them losing the clothing store for a while, but Nipsey was making moves on the outside. He released his Marathon Continues tape, which did very well and re-entered his name in the LA music scene. One thing about Nipsey that made him stand out was his business mindset. So although his career was going well, it was often that he would buy or open up new businesses like Fatburger, a cell phone shop, and a hair store all in his neighborhood. But he also did this with his music and made hip-hop history with it. In 2013, he announced the release of his newest mixtape, Crenshaw, but this was unlike any release we've ever seen. He stated he would only produce 1,000 copies and sell them for $100 each. Initially, he received backlash from just about everyone for this idea, as it sounded crazy, but he was ready to prove everyone wrong. Just 1 month later, he opened up a pop-up shop in LA for the release of the tape. He sold every copy that same night, with Jay-Z even buying 100 of them. This was also his first project to break the Billboard 100 and peaked at number 63. For the next few years, Nipsey was touring the world and building his brand. He released a few tapes, but he started to shift his energy toward building his other businesses up. In 2017, he opened up more stores, including a seafood market, the World on Wheels roller rink, and officially reopened his clothing store once again. But he had a surprise up his sleeve. Almost 15 years after his first mixtape, he finally announced his debut album, Victory Lap. In February of 2018, Victory Lap was released and hit number 4 on the Billboard. It sold 53,000 copies his first week and got him nominated for a Grammy. In addition, 2 singles from his album would go gold, giving him his first ever plaques to hang on the wall. Things were going extremely well, momentum was high, and he was finally getting the recognition he deserved all over the US, not just LA. He collabed with Puma, invested in multiple apps, and even bought the entire plaza that his Marathon store was connected to.
The space and created the Marathon store, but then we just bought the building recently, so.
You bought the building.
Yeah, we bought the whole building, yeah.
Things were looking better than ever for Nipsey. But on March 31st, 2019, Nipsey woke up and headed to the clothing store to help out a friend who was just released from prison and give him some free clothes. He was hanging out and taking pictures with fans like a normal day. At 2:52 p.m. he tweeted, "Having strong enemies is a blessing." But unknowingly, this would be the last thing he said on social media.
It's a huge loss for the rap and hip hop community. He wasn't just a rapper.
Grammy-nominated rapper Nipsey Hussle shot and killed outside his own clothing store in Los Angeles.
Gun violence has taken the life of Los Angeles rapper Nipsey Hussle.
Just minutes later, a man walked up to Nipsey and a few others outside their store and opened fire. Nipsey was shot in the leg, stomach, and back of his head before the gunman ran off. It was hard for many to believe that he was gunned down in the same neighborhood he had worked over a decade to make a better place. The support for Nipsey's passing reached farther than just the hip-hop community, as he represented a lot more than just his music. That was Nipsey Hussle's last day with us, but before his passing, he ensured everyone understood that the marathon would continue.
You know what's crazy, bro? That's been 6 years, bro.
Yep. It don't feel like it.
That's been 6 years, bro.
I ain't even think about it. It was before COVID. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Long live Nip, man. Definitely had an impact on the culture. Definitely had an impact on... Sure, man. Long live the king, man. Let's go a little further, man. Let's dig in.
Hey, what's going on, Trap? Happy Tuesday. You know, another opportunity to be great. What's up, Jose? Thanks for taking my call. It's your girl Stony here. So my question today is, now when you talking about higher highs and higher lows, what I want to know is what in the candle or the wick or a combination of the two lets you know that that's where it's about to go at. Any help or guidance that you can give on this subject will be greatly appreciated. And of course, Trap, thanks for everything you do for the community and them lives in the morning and like them random lives, Trap, be giving me life. So keep that up because I'm learning. I'm definitely picking it up. And until next Tuesday, y'all, keep trapping. Salute.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate it. You hear me? So basically, what you want is so now you're getting into a couple things. And I want to keep this. I want to keep this as simplistic as I can to make sure we get it right. So every candle tells you a story. Right? Every candle tells you something. So that's why I always say you gotta look left before you move right, because looking left tells you how to move right. Say it again. You gotta look left before you, somebody say, Chap, you gotta update the course now, dog. I'm gonna do it when I get back, dog. I gotta travel. I keep saying like, yo, all right, I gotta shoot this. I gotta at least add some of the technicals in it so they can get, so it's all good. I got y'all. You gotta look left before you look right, because if you understand what's going on left, it's gonna tell you how to move right. And the reason why we say that is, so what I always ask myself, like, what is the story that's being said at least, watch this, at least 3 to 5 candles after the previous candle? Right? If I can look left and see what's going on, at least 3 to 5 candles, because that's giving me, watch this, watch somebody say, present danger. That's what the 3 to 5 candles are gonna tell me. What's present danger, or am I presently in clear water? Right, so and the reason why I'm saying it is because it's simple. But it's simple to me, but it ain't to y'all, to some of y'all. So watch this. If I can understand 2 things, the first thing I do when I get on a chart is, where's my current candle at? Cool. Where is the lowest point in the present lowest point where it went to or where it came from, and where's the highest point that it went to and it came from? And then I do what I just showed y'all on there. Weekly high, monthly high, previous monthly high, previous monthly low, previous weekly high, previous weekly low. And that's gonna be the first candle, the second candle on your monthly chart is gonna be the second candle on your weekly chart, is gonna be the second candle on your daily chart. Not the current one, the one right after it, because the previous. Why? Because the market is gonna use that as a range and where you gonna find liquidity at. That's the first thing you wanna know. The second thing I need to find out is, now, once I get down to my daily, I wanna know what is the first candle and the next 3 to 5 candles after that. What are they telling me, right? And they could be telling you a whole lot. So you can ask yourself, this is not with me getting too into it because I can be here forever. So you know that every candle consists of 4 things. A green candle consists of a open at the bottom, a close at the top. If they have a wick on top of it, that's the high. If it have a wick on the bottom, that's the low, that it went in that session. A red candle gonna have an opening at the top and a close at the bottom because it pushes down. But the wicks still do the same thing. This tells us this as high as it went, this as low as it went. Everything after you understand that becomes a communication part. I want you to understand these 4 candles. What is a hammer? Here's your homework for tonight if you're brand new. What is a hammer? What does it tell me when it's in a certain position? What is a shooting star? What does it tell me in a certain position? What is a gravestone doji? What does it tell me when it's in a certain position? And what is a dragonfly doji? What does it tell me when it's in a certain position? Those 4 candles are going to be extremely important to you because they tell you reversals are on the way. If you can start there, you've started. So you understand, 1, what's the anatomy of a candle? Every candle has 4 talking points. Open, close, high, low. Every candle has 4 talking points, no matter if it's red or green. Open, close, high, low. That's the anatomy of a candle. The next thing, you start understanding those four candles. Then you get into support and resistance. You now tapped into the first chapter of technical analysis. Because those things right there tell you about price action, which is what is the candle doing based on how the price is moving. Price is causing a action. This price, every time the price move, it's causing a action in the candle. Right? So if you learn, all right, I gotta shoot the goddamn on technical thing now because people really need me to say it. All right, let's go a little further. I appreciate you, Queen. I got you. You got my word. Before this month out, I'm at least have 2 videos inside of the goddamn on course. Before this month out, you got my word. Yeah, Gino, we do. It's a lot. Remember, they new, bro, so you can't do, you know what I'm saying? We can be here for days talking about candidates. Everybody who do technical analysis, you know, technical analysis, you know one thing. That's a never-ending rabbit hole. I was just talking to Sean today about support shelf and demand shelf. He said, what, nigga? I was like, I've been reading. I was in the chart this weekend for 16 hours. Learned about that. I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So you can, you know what I'm saying? You could be in that forever. You know, that's a never-ending rabbit hole. It's a never-ending, it's a never-ending rabbit hole. You can learn 1 candle pattern, 2 candle patterns, 3 candle patterns. Now you done got into something else. Then you get into combination patterns. What does this thing tell you? Then you start getting into bull flags. Then you start getting into a bear flag. Then you start getting into pennants. Then you start getting, you will never get out of that hole. So you learn what you need to help you understand little by little. You know, what is support? What is resistance? Oh, what if support and resistance is this? What the hell is supply and demand? Ain't they the same thing, Trap? Hell no, it ain't the same thing. But they look like they're the same thing if you brand new. You know what I'm saying? So you done, what is a triangle? What the hell that come from? What is a wedge? What the hell? A descendant? It's a never ending. Oh, somebody say a supply shelf. Oh yeah, Trap ain't playing. I tell you, I told Sean today, he said, nigga, what? But that's what this game does you. This game makes you go into a rabbit hole. Because watch this. Watch this. And we can get to the next one. Your screen does not have to be choppy. Have to have a whole bunch of stuff on it. The more stuff it has, the more confused you are. But watch this. The more you understand the language, the better you get at interpreting the information. The better you get at interpreting the information, watch this what I'm about to tell you, the bigger advantage you give yourself. And trading is all about how do I give myself the advantage? In a game that's full of whales and institutions that move the market. Let's go a little further. All right, watch this, man. This was crazy right here when I saw this, all right? So watch this. $15 trillion is at risk. Trump's tariff war just got personal. So we know Friday, something came out. They said that the tariffs are illegal. Then on top of that, what did we see? We see Japan. We see China. We see India. Russia. We see all these people talking. And Trump said this is downright effery, right? So President Donald Trump warned that a record $15 trillion is planned U.S. investment would be immediately canceled if courts strike down his tariff policy. In a fiery Truth Social post, he claimed losing the tariffs would devastate the economy, saying the U.S. would become a third world nation. He is so extreme. His comment followed a 7-4 ruling by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit on Friday, which found Trump overstepped his authority by using the International Emergency Economic Powers of IEEPA to impose sweeping tariffs. The court emphasized that the law does not explicitly authorize presidential tariff power. At what point has he done anything that hasn't overstepped his authority? So they wait to say the tariffs. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it will have an effect because, here's why it will have an effect, because you didn't stop it earlier. You feel me? You knew it was wrong when he did it. Right, but of course you gotta go through the courts, you gotta go through certain things. Now he done already, watch this, he's already now collected, they say America has collected about what, 22 billion or something like that? 220 billion, something like that, in tariffs. You take it away now, you really put, that's a slippery slope right there. It's a slippery slope, and it is what it is, but I can tell you that it's gonna definitely push the markets down. It's gonna push the markets down 100%, because it brings us back to square one. Because then you don't know what he's gonna do next. And he's already saying he want control of the Fed. Another thing.
That's if they strike it down.
That's if they, so it's already down, but he gonna appeal it. So they're gonna stay into account until October 14th, 17th, 19th, something like that. And so if they don't grant the appeal, that then puts the word, that puts you in another situation. Because then the market has almost gotten understood, like, okay, this is what's up, we good, let's move a little further. He extended the China deal out 90 days, which I think is somewhere around what, October, November, somewhere like that. So he did it last month, that was September, so you got October, November, probably December sometime. He's doing so much, you know what I'm saying? Like, the damage has punished, right? The market has tried to recover from this. If you down, go back and revert it, now you actually run the risk of putting us back in that same situation again. It's gonna be real interesting to see. It's gonna be real.
I just be wondering, the team around him, like the loopholes or what have you, they be like, hey, you know what, might be able to skate this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just thinking about the IEEPA joint. Hey, he ain't know about that. Somebody had to tell him, it's like, oh, I can't? Bet, run it. You know?
Well, you got to even look at it. It said he overstepped his authority by using that. So, you know, somebody say, hey, you know you got this to go through. Now, there's a situation where they may, and he like, we gonna run that.
Right, it's a gray area.
We gonna run that play, and then I'm a
strong arm.
I'm a strong arm the rest. I'm Donald Trump. Why they play on me? It's gonna be real interesting to see, man. Let's go a little further. Right here, global pieces, the pieces to the global puzzle. The global stock market is valued at 127 trillion, with the United States accounting for nearly half at 62.2 trillion. China follows with 11.8 trillion, while the whole European Union is at 11.1 trillion. Look at the European Union, man. That's interesting. Watch this, though. Here's what I be wanting us to understand. Right? Ain't nothing like that American stock market, man. Ain't nothing like the American stock market. It's 100% the place you need to go to get that bread. It's the place so watch this. You get your money in America, and then you live cheaper somewhere else. But there's nothing like, so why I'm gonna say this, bro, and people, somebody told me something the other day on my page when I reposted Fred Hampton. He said, they said to me, You cannot love Fred Hampton if you telling people to use capitalism to get free, because Fred Hampton said you fight capitalism with socialism. Fred Hampton 100% did say that, and 100% he is my all-time favorite black man, him and Malcolm X. But I also think that we live in a capitalist, and I'm about to trade thin ice right here. We live in a capitalist society, and I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Fred 100% was right. I truly believe also that a lot of things have changed and a lot of things have gotten worse since then. But I will say this. We live in a time in America where there's no greater place to put yourself and your family in a better position financially. And I always have said this. If you get your money right, you can actually fight a harder fight. If you get your money right, you can actually fight a better fight. Here's why I say this. The Panthers did such an amazing job. But you know one of the ways they starved them out? They took them to court. You know, they was all sleeping in one house. Not bad, because that's where unity come from. Right, but it was so much. It's easy so watch this. The organization can be funded by using the thing that you're trying to change. So if you know the stock market is free money, why not use the stock market? Just from my perspective, why not use the stock market to actually help you build up your community? So what if we can use the stock market to do what? We already showed we use the stock market to buy this building. What if we can use the stock market to buy all of the homes in our community, all of the abandos, and then we turn them to affordable housing? We use the stock market to do that. Just from my perspective. Like, what if we then took the stock market and said, okay, we're gonna use the stock market, then we're gonna help, you know, build our purchasing power, and then we can now get dope boys off the street and say, hey, this is what we're doing. We can then use the stock market, right, to say, hey, we're going to teach you how not to depend on the system, but to use the system in your favor. What if we can use the stock market to say, hey, check this out. And I'm just saying it in this way. And again, there's so many different ways to do it. What if we can then take the stock market and say, hey, check this out. We can use the stock market, and then, because what about Nipsey was a crypto fan way in 2019, using the stock market, using crypto to then teach that to the next generation so they can leverage, and then so they can put themselves in financial situations. So you're not begging the system to take care of you, actually using the system to create change. This is just my perspective. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% right, but I just have a different perspective. I think I love everything Fred stood for. Again, I got him tattooed on my back, him and Malcolm X. But I think that my angle is, why can't we use the market in this $62.2 trillion of market cap that America has in the total stock market? Why we can't get a piece of that and then put our own puzzle together? So we then let America fund us out of poverty. Just my perspective. I could be wrong. I'm not saying there's not a better way. I'm just saying I use the market to buy this building. I use the market to put a down payment on another building. So why not just use the market and say, all right, you know how much a plot of land costs in the hood? $2,000. What if we just took the stock market and said, yep, I'm gonna go buy this plot, this plot, this plot, this plot, this plot, this plot, and then use the stock market to pay the yearly taxes on it and say, bro, now we own all that land and we not selling unless you gotta do some eminent domain or something. But guess what? Now we got the stock market to go get us a lawyer that helps us do the thing. Just my perspective, and I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. I still got a lot to learn. I just know that I understand the fight against capitalism. I understand the plight of socialism. I still think there's a dope balance between the two. Let's go. All right, the trade war quite come back. The trade war reignited in early 2025 has led to record high tariffs, up to 145% on Chinese imports, 125% on U.S. goods. When the headlines focus on geopolitics, the real cost is being felt by consumers, small business owners, and local economies, right? Supply chains are strained. Prices are surging, and many entrepreneurs are scrambling to adapt to shut down. Let's go a little further. This is so good. This is a good chain right here that we're going through. Watch this. Tariffs are crushing small businesses. At the end of the Menace rule in August 29, 2025 means packages under $800 from abroad now face small retailers relying on low-cost import are seeing cost spikes up to 34%, forcing layoffs, price hikes, and closures. Emergency loan searches are surgency. Oh, this is good. According to Crucial Analytics, there has been a dramatic spike in small business owners searching for emergency loans and shutdown advice, a sign of growing panic in the sector. Remember, there's also 39, I think the number came out not long ago. I think there's something like the number of unemployed people is at the high as it was for COVID right now. The number of unemployed people is at the COVID high right now. Let's go a little further. And remember, last week we had a PPI data that came out week before last that said what? The prices of goods for producers are going up. Also, if you look at today, the ISM, which is the supply management, that price was interesting today. Right. Legal battles over tariffs are heating up. The Federal Appeals Court ruled on September 1st, 2025, that many of Trump's tariffs were illegal without congressional approval, but they remain in effect pending Supreme Court review. The legal limbo adds uncertainty to import and exporters. Rise in direct China sourcing by small businesses since April 25. Watch this. There's a noticeable uptick in small businesses bypassing middlemen and sourcing directly from Chinese manufacturers to cut costs and regain control. Employer of goods, services, and direct negotiation are helping some people stay afloat. I'm telling you, when I went to China, I saw it. China was smart. They said, guess what? We're going to flood TikTok. And we're going to let the people know they can come here and get it. Because guess what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. Let me say something right quick before we go. I'm going to say something too. And this don't got nothing to do with this, bro. I was off Instagram for like 2 days, right? Got on Instagram, all I see, this don't have nothing to do with this, but this just came on my mind. Don't have nothing to do with this, bro. But I see a lot of stuff going on with like Young Thug and all of that. All I'm going to say is, think about this. Who releasing that? Let's go a little further. Huh? No.
What's going on, Trap? What it do? Jose, Lashana, and all the other names that we may not know, but you know they're the hands behind the scenes that make this production possible. Appreciate y'all. So I see you guys are hiring for the Freedom Center and growing that team of support, which only means we're that much closer to opening it up. So I'm really excited about that. So with that in mind, how will the Freedom Center help the next generation connect financial knowledge to real ownership, right? And additionally, as a veteran, I'm curious on your vision on what role can veterans, educators, and community leaders play in expanding the Trappin community. So as you guys continue to grow, really curious on how you guys plan on expanding that footprint, right? Because as it is, it's super impactful. So I appreciate your insights on that. As always, love.
King, bro, I always appreciate you, man. You always give us things to like just lock in on. I think that one of the things, you know, we was talking about just, I didn't have an idea like how I wanted the kids to be educated, and all I knew was financial literacy. But then I'm not gonna lie, you know, when I thought, once I saw the NIP clip and we thought about it, I just said, Bernard, I say the STEM, I remember taking my daughter to school, bro, when she was out here. And I remember this school she went to, bro, a phenomenal school. They had STEM programs. And I remember putting my daughter in that, and they had a robotics program. And I remember putting her in that after school. And so I think one of the things that we want to do here with kids is, and I wrote this down, now I'm going to be on it. STEM, Jose said, don't forget AI, because STEM has also coding in it. So STEM, AI, financial literacy, crypto, entrepreneurship, home ownership. And Bernard said something that was cool. He was like, we make them to graduate, you make them build an app. So I think I think just with that right there, we've now put a rough framework together on what the kids gonna do here. And I think we can do it for elementary and middle school. High school, I probably don't have it for them, but I think we can go elementary to middle school, 40 to 50 kids in each group, and we do it in 6-week phases, 4 times a year. I think that would be so freaking dope, bro. I think that'd be so dope because that'll teach them how to be ready for the next iteration of what they're gonna be here for. Crypto gonna be a thing. Financial literacy is always a thing. STEM, AI. I think that's just gonna be so good. From the veterans perspective, I probably gotta just talk to George more about what that looks like. I wasn't a veteran, so I don't know what it looks like to cater to a veteran. So I would have to kind of like get with George, because one thing I respect about my cuz, man, he got busy. And he wasn't just no, let me not say it like that, because I don't know about how to take offense. But he got busy. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to get with my cuz to see what does it look like to help a veteran. Like I see he go to the VA sometimes, you know, so I would have to like sit down and really, you know, not off the top of my head, because I don't want to just say something to sound good. I don't know what it looks like to help a veteran out. What I do know is everybody in here right now has benefited from people going to war to fight for us. I also know that there's a lot of veterans that I see after they finish serving, America throw them away. And I think that's screwed up, because we only have freedom because of them. Risking their life, making that bold decision. And so I will have to get with my cuz to see how do we help veterans. What is a dope way that we can serve veterans? So I would definitely have to get with George to understand the mindset, the concepts, and find the gaps and the loopholes so we can go with that. And even just taking some, and I think it's more than just giving them a discount on this, like how do we really help them, you know, deal with that? So yeah, I don't have it off the top of my head. But again, just doing research, market research, you know, talking with somebody who I know actually was over there getting busy, talking to somebody that came back. I ain't still got PTSD, man. I got mine and he got his, you heard me? So I know what he be. Hey, cuz, tell you, cuz, like, nigga, we out you. Hey, we ain't in Desert Storm, cuz, we all right. We all right. So yeah, don't sound like great ideas. I don't know. I'm not mad at you for saying that either, man. All right, let's go a little further, man.
First off, I appreciate you taking the call. I know you're from PG, I'm from Baltimore, so we like cousins for real. So if Trap giving you the smoke, I'll pull up for real. Yeah, I'm Justin. I'm a lieutenant in the Baltimore City Fire Department. I had a financial epiphany and found your videos at the same time a few years ago, and that's what's kind of led me on this journey. And my wife and I also have a catering company. It's called Eat More Chauncey's. I've been partnering this idea of establishing a brokerage account in the business name for quite some time now. And I've been anxious about it because I'm not quite sure if that's a good move in a growing company. We did just clear $100,000 in revenue last year, and she's currently in the Goldman Sachs business cohort starting on this Thursday. So we are making moves, but I wasn't sure if that was the right move to make. And if it is the right move to make, how I should go about doing it. If it's not, what are some good viable alternatives that I could use? I appreciate you for everything that you do. Keep it going. And I'm definitely passing along the word as I get it as well. Thank you.
Man, Justin, salute to you, man. So we not gonna, it's Justin, huh? Oh, it's Devin. Justin, shout out to Justin, man. We salute you for tapping in. But I'm gonna flush you, Justin. Pull up.
I figured he flushed himself, bro.
Pull up. Pull up.
Pull up on me.
I'm from New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans. You from Baltimore. That sounds like a good old backyard boogie right there. That's a backyard boogie if I ever met one right there. Pull up on me.
Oh, lean in on it.
Shout out to the king, man. I love you, man. I appreciate you, bro. First of all, man, just salute to you. Salute to you. Salute to your wife, man. I love it, man. I love to hear that, man. Salute to the 100K revenue, man. Man, listen, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I did say he's opened up a brokerage account, right? Yeah, I think that's the right track to get on. But you wanted to open it in his business name, right? Yeah, he wanted to open it in his business name. So I think there's two ways to go about that. One, when you do it, so I think the first thing you do, even before you do it in a business name, you make sure you open up a Roth IRA. I want everybody to open that up first. The Roth IRA comes before anything, and that's in your name, right? You open that Roth IRA up first in your name, and the reason why you do that is because you want to secure that future first. Right? You want to secure that future first. So I think the first thing we do is we open up a Roth IRA for you. We open up a Roth IRA for wifey. That becomes tax-free money that y'all get at 59.5. Second of all, man, salute to that success, man. You don't know how that is essential for me to hear that you all are doing that. So I think even before we get to the business part of it, I think the first thing we do is do that Roth IRA. We do the Roth IRA for you, we do the Roth IRA for your wife, and then we do is that's $7K a year. So that's $14K for both of y'all, right? That y'all can straight up strap up. So that's good. Right? That's the first thing. And then after you max out that $7K for each one of y'all, I think the next thing you do is say, okay, now the goal is to open up the one in your business name. And I'm not mad at it. I think it's a good idea. You got to do what's called a like-kind transfer. Well, you can just open up your business name, but I had to do what's called a like-kind transfer. And the reason why you want to do it too, I would even say not even open it up in your business name. I would say open it up in a separate business name and then let a holding company own that business. That would be the better way to do it. Okay, I know I'm about to get flooded with a bunch of questions on why would you do that, Trap? Why? Because if you open it in your current business name, if somebody sue your current business, they get that and that. If you open it up in a separate business name and then let a holding company own it, now you don't own it, the business don't own it, the holding company owns it, and now you became that far away from it, which is what you want. So what I would do once you get to that, I would do the LLC, and then I would put it in the holding. I would let the holding company own the LLC that owns the stocks that you're going to trade. I think that is the most brilliant way to do it. But definitely talk to your financial advisor or talk to your, whoever you're getting financial advice from outside of me. Now you protect it because your Roth IRA is doing, your tax-free money that you get at 59.5. And what you're doing right now, when you do the Roth IRA, what you're doing is you're now saying, this is money that's going to make sure I'm a millionaire when I'm 59.5. You look young, so I don't think you close to 59.5. If you do, whatever that is you drinking, put me on it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you have that to worry about. I think you should focus on that 14 grand first that you got to put up for you and your wife so y'all can make sure y'all doing that. And so that's kind of my goal for you, brother. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for tapping in. Holler at my guy in Baltimore, man. Damn, what's my dog name with the donuts, man? Damn. Forgot his name with the donut shop, man. That's my guy, dog. God damn, I forgot his name. Damn, I forgot his name. He got a dope-ass donut shop and breakfast shop in Baltimore, man. Anyway, but that's my advice for you, King. Salute. Let's go. All right, watch this, man. So Google dodges the big breakup. Federal judge ruled that Google must share search data with rivals to boost competition, but rejected the DOJ's push to force a sell-off of Chrome and Android. CEO warned this could let competitors reverse engineer Google tech. The court also banned Google from exclusive deals that block rival apps from being pre-installed. Google plans to appeal, potentially delaying actions for years. Now, it's double-sided. It's double-sided because, one, they don't have to break things up, but two, so here's what I say what they're doing with companies like Google and these other companies. What happens is you let these companies become so big and then you start trying to reshape the rules. You can't reshape the rules. You can't let me win this long and say it ain't fair. The game ain't never been fair, fam. Because now what happens is you start letting people, like, that's the thing. You know the thing I love about business, dog? I'm going to just keep it real with you, is somebody, I think Bernard said it, we had to call this morning. And I've said this my whole life. Yo, I'm going to put my glasses off when I say this, right? I'm going to say this. I'm going to sit the tone voice down nice and calm. But I'm going to say this. Business is a gladiator sport. Bernard, you said that this morning? But I've always said business is the greatest sport in the world because business is a take no prisoner sport. Get your money up or get ate. If you want to compete with the big dogs, you got to play the way the big dogs play. Oh, they suffocate me. All right, what if Apple shut the App Store down? What if Google shut Chrome down and Apple shut Safari down? Yo, we gonna be, so you gotta play, like, it's a reason why empire reign. I don't care what nobody's saying all that, man, they gotta let people compete then. Get your money up and compete. There's 8 billion people in the world, go compete. Well, they can keep smothering me, find a way. We just watched a man make $105 million in 3 days. I said something to my people on the live early, and here's what I said. Once you learn the system around money, the money is no longer the problem because you learn the system. I'm still trying to find a system out, but guess what we know of somebody like Alex Hormozy did? He understood the system of money because once you made $100 million one time, guess what? You can make it again. So in the business, here's why we understand something. If a person, watch this, oh, this is about to help so many people out. This is why people who made a lot of money during the pandemic can't replicate their success. Because they made a lot of money when money was free, and it gave them the illusion that this is business. No, people were sitting at home, and people was bored, and people were spending money that they didn't actually work hard for. Right? But now, here we are in 2026 when we see that crunch. And you know why you see a lot of entrepreneurs not being entrepreneurs no more? Because they realize business ain't easy when the money ain't free. How do you navigate through business when people holding their checkbook hostage? How do you navigate business when people got to make a decision, do I want to do this or do I got to pay my bills? That's business. That's business, learning how to provide so much value where people say, you know what, I'm going to do this. And how we know it's real? A man sold listen to me, a man took a $29 book and got 100 and something thousand people in the room and made them 100 and something thousand people. He made enough of them buy 200 books at a time, bare minimum. Because he gave so much value to the marketplace. You said, you know what? Shit. The book $29, but I'm gonna go spend $6,000. You know what? This book is $29, but I'm not gonna buy 200 of them. There was a whole bunch of people bought 600 of them. You know why? Because he understood a system of money. And so once you understand a system of money, you can open any kind of business you want to. Is entrepreneurship hard? Hell yes. Is it worth it? Hell yes. Will you have to make tough decisions? Hell yes. Will it make you go through every emotion in the emotional Rolodex? Hell yes. But will you wake up every day full of purpose? Hell freaking yes. If you want to be a big dog, you got to compete for being a big dog. And you got to stop asking for the game to be fair because the game ain't never been fair. You wouldn't know how to create an app if there wasn't an app store to tell you to make you want to create an app. Go make that, watch this, with no Google App Store and no Apple App Store, where people gonna see your app at? Where they gonna see it at? Where they gonna see it at? You wanna compete with Meta? Cool. But without Meta, watch this. Go find Tom off MySpace. Go find him. Go find him. You can't. You can't. You made the app because of the app stores, gave you an idea that I can make an app. Without the app stores, you don't have a place to put your app because we don't know you. We don't know you. We don't know your company. We don't know nothing about you. You know why we know you? Because we got on this app store and there was an algorithm that pushed it up. Go learn the system. You want to compete with the big dogs, stop expecting the game to be fair. That's my only gripe. And I'm saying this as a black man in America who ain't never expected the game to be fair, because I knew one thing. It was built against me. It wasn't built with me. Watch this. It wasn't built for me to get assets. It was built with me as an asset. Meaning, it wasn't built for me to build wealth. It was built for people to build wealth off me. That's what it was built for. The game ain't never gonna be fair, and we be looking for the game to be fair. Oh, we gonna go to the DOJ, we gotta break this up, make them compete. Google got it out the mud, and they started learning about what? Google the one started the wiring us to answer emails and ding, the little noise that make us, every time you get an email, you gotta answer it. Google the one started that. You know what they did? They got in the trenches and they figured out, I'm gonna go watch this. This is why as an entrepreneur, one of the things you gotta do is say, stop being cheap. You gotta go hire people that are brilliant at what they do. You know why? Because brilliant people do brilliant shit and they come up with shit that you didn't think about. They had a man that sat down on his phone and said, you know what? With these emails, hey, if we give them notifications, they gonna keep answering it. And that notification gonna give them traffic. I wonder, let's see how this work. Shit, before you know it, people was addicted to the notifications. And then they had somebody at Meta that said, hey, you know what? If you do this thing right here where the thing keeps scrolling, it's an endless scroll, and the dopamine gonna start clicking, and people start getting what? Attached to the dopamine or getting something new on their feed. Maybe if we can figure that out. Mark Zuckerberg ain't think about that, but he hired a brilliant-ass person that understood human psychology. You won't compete with the big dogs. Go create your app without even getting the idea of an app, because Google started from, and that's my rant for that. What's next? Ah, man. That's how I be feeling, dog. We should have on with the AI thing. There we go. I say, come on. I be in my bag, but I be in my Bible too. Shout out to my dog D1. Right. NVIDIA's monopoly meltdown. NVIDIA's monopoly is melting down. China has sent a clear message to NVIDIA, signaling plans to build its own chips as Huawei and other fears race to triple the country's AI chip production by 2026. With new plants set to potentially surpass SMIC's output, Beijing is doubling down on efforts to cut reliance on U.S. technology. NVIDIA's China-only H220 chip may soon face stiff competition as China accelerates in its push for self-sufficiency. Now, here's what I want to say. This is the byproduct of Donald Trump. This is the byproduct of Donald Trump. This is the byproduct of Donald Trump. Why? Because he got in business he ain't had nothing to do with. Bro, you don't know nothing about no chips. Why you even got it in people's business? This is what Gene Sing Wan was like, bro. He told him, he said, bro, if you don't let us sell to China, guess what? They're going to become our most fiercest competitor. Now, it's going to take him some time to catch up to him, but guess what? All we got is time. But China doing something that America should have did a long time ago. But American leaders wasn't even in their right mind. Guess what they say? We don't want to depend on y'all. It's something that we were supposed to do in the 70s. You know what they doing? They putting self-sufficiency before greed. It's something America ain't do a long time ago. They say, hey, you know what? We good. You want to sell us the H220 while we got this? Don't even worry about it, fam. Guess what? I got an idea. You don't even got to sell us that little chip. Go on, keep that. We going to figure it out. It might set us back a little bit. Don't trip over when you get it. You better keep it up. This is Donald Trump's doing. This is Donald Trump's doing, 100%. And notice on the NVIDIA call what they said, yeah, we probably ain't gonna report Q3. We ain't gonna report, because China said we ain't buying it. You're not gonna give us your second best chip. We good. We good. So this gonna affect, bro, this AI race is so crazy. Bro, this thing gonna change the world. It's changing the world in real time, bro. And it's changing it for the good and the bad. You gotta decide what side of that you on. It's changing it for good or bad. You gotta decide what side of that you on. And there's no gray area. There's no gray area. You either gonna be on the side that say, hey, let me learn this chat so I can do it, or you gonna be on the side like, oh, I can just do it with chat, I can just do it with chat, I can just do it with AI, I can just do it with AI. Bro, I told you I was on Gram for 2 days. Bro, I got on the Gram, bro, and guess what? I saw 17 different ads with people saying they AI masters. I thought about Bernard. I say, bro, god damn. Because I'm like, all right, I know B like this. I'm going to learn it, but let me see which one I can send B. Bro, they just kept coming. AI Bootcamp, AI Summit, AI this, 3-day AI Masterclass. I'm like, God, all these people? I'm like, oh, this the sign. That's it. All right, don't even tripping. I thought I with all of them.
And then that's going to bubble too.
Huh?
They said that's going to bubble too. They got to get it.
They got to get it, because it's going to evolve again.
Right. Yep.
So let's go to this next one. Watch this. I wrote this down. This is a great way to segue. Watch this. I wrote this down for us. Come on. One thing I ain't gonna never do is put us in a bad spot that we ain't gonna learn what's going on. So watch this. I wrote this down and I got this wrote out. So watch this. NVIDIA made it clear we're still in the early days of AI, right? NVIDIA made it clear that we're still in the early days of AI. Watch this. Phase 1 was the core infrastructure. NVIDIA, ASML, AMD, TSMC, NBIS, right? This Phase 2, the hyperscalers. Microsoft, Google, Amazon. Phase 3, Palantir, STEM, CrowdStrike, Net. Now watch this. Phase 4, Spot, Shop, Netflix, Tesla, Duo. So watch this. Here's what I wrote down. Watch this. This is a note. Small article. As AI is unfolding in clear stages, each phase builds on the one before. Phase 1 was the core infrastructure, the picks and shovels. Watch this. These are the companies that are providing the raw hardware and tools that make it possible. The NVIDIA with the GPUs, ASML with the chip-making machines, AMD and TSM, and Broadcom. So watch this. Think of them as the foundation, right? This is what everything was AI gonna be built on. Then phase 2 is the hyperscaler, which are the clouds, right? These are the companies with massive computing infrastructure who can deploy the AI at scale. Remember, everything has to go to scale. Everything has to go to scale. So watch this. This is the Microsoft, the Amazon, Microsoft with Azure, Amazon with AWS, Google with GCP and Meta. They are the landlords of the AI real estate. Everyone else pays them for storage, computing, and training models. Watch this. Phase 3 becomes the emerging companies. These are the companies that are powering the AI platforms with security, enterprise, and data. I'm giving you game right here. You need to write this down. Right here, Palantir, Snowflake. Shout out to all my people in the Patreon that killed it on that Snowflake play. I love y'all. Y'all was ahead of me, and I love that. That means y'all ass was hunting. Right here, Snowflake, Cloudflare, and STEM. Watch this. They're the application builders, taking AI from theory to usable software across all industries. This is why Palantir is so crazy. This is why people don't know where to sell it or buy it, because it's like, yo, they that good. And then you got the phase 4. This is widespread integration. This one it goes to Spotify, Shopify, Netflix, Tesla, Duolingo. These are the phases where AI touches everywhere we shop, learn, travel, media, and live the day. We are now in the phase 2 and the phase 3, but don't don't forget, after phase 2 and phase 3, the way we invest is we invest in phase 1, that's good. We build on that. We build on phase 2. But if we know we in phase 3 right now, we already need to be investing for phase 4. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to find one of these models in each one of these phases and just double down on it for the next 5 years. And that's how we're going to end it tonight. Man, look, man, I love y'all. I hope that y'all enjoyed the show. How y'all feeling in the chat? Tell me how y'all enjoyed the show, man. We just try to give y'all game on all different levels. We try to help y'all build wealth. We try to help y'all laugh. We try to help y'all know how to navigate the market. Y'all know me, man. I love tech and I love finances, right? So that's where I'm gonna be at. I love tech, I love finances, I love infrastructure. And so that's where I'm at with y'all, man. And we cannot think that this thing is a fly-by-night. Here's what we gotta understand. Think about this. We just talked about all 4 phases. Here's how I'm gonna tell you the difference between the AI bubble and the dot-com bubble. A lot of the companies in the dot-com bubble was not producing real profit, was not producing real revenue, was not producing real earnings. Show me a company on here that's not producing real profit, that don't have real earnings, and that don't have real revenue. If you show me one of them, I'm gonna say, hey, that's the difference. If the AI bubble busts right now, everybody in these 4 phases right now can still stand. 100%. That's the difference between a bubble and a core infrastructure. Will they have some companies that's gonna get wiped away? 100%. But the core of it, they're here to stay, man. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trappin, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. If you want to come join Trappers Anonymous, come join us, man. We speak on fundamentals. That's what we lock in on my Trappers Anonymous family. I got y'all. I'm going to post 2 posts tomorrow for y'all. I didn't post one today. All my Patreon people, come join the Patreon, man. Right now, we doing a lot of lives on the chat. In the top 2 groups, we do, every morning from 9 to 9:30. Now we just go live and break down the S&P. We break down the QQQ and might do one stock if we got time. But then I'm doing, not every week, but at least once I'm gonna try to get and just do one stock like we did Sunday. Monday, we just broke down that NVIDIA stock for freaking an hour and a half. Gave us a strike today, and we want to see how that turned out, right? We're going to stick to our fundamentals. We're going to stick to it real tight. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Other than that, come get your merch. Remember, merch is 50% off the whole site. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Y'all can't get this one. I stole this one from George today, and I'm not giving it back because this black is definitely on crack. You hear what I'm saying? I like this. You hear me? It's on fire. I like this black. You feel me? Other than that, what we got, Jose? We want to tell the people, download Spotify, YouTube. Go check us out. The Wall Street Looks Like Us Now page and the Wall Street Trapper page. Yo, we got some stuff that's really, really good on YouTube right now. If you're not following the Wall Street Trapper page, please go follow that page. If you're not following the Wall Street Looks Like Us Now, please follow that page. Do me a favor, y'all. Before y'all get off tonight, go to the first 10 videos and just like it. Right? Let's get 1,000 likes. I'm not even getting 1,000 likes on that, and I don't like that, y'all. I think we better than that. I think we get more game than that, right? So go to the first, do me something. You get off this thing, go to the first 10 videos on this page and like them. Let's get them to 1,000 likes, and then go over to the Wall Street Trapper page. Go to the first 10 pages and go to the first 10 videos and like that. We got 3,000 people on here right now. We had 3,500. That'll give us 3,500 more likes on each post. That'll really help us out, y'all. That don't cost you nothing. That may take you 3 minutes at best. I know I worked 3 minutes. I just gave you 2.5 hours. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I see y'all in the morning. Y'all have a good night. Same time, same place next week. Let's go.
Peace.